Hello and welcome to Ivy Moves. My name is Ivona and today we're having a beautiful back bending practice to open up the energy channel of the heart for giving and receiving, just creating the energy of abundance in our lives through the body, through the physical experience of what is it to have the space to breathe more deeply, to open for receiving. This class, I filmed it yesterday and it was absolutely amazing. However, the phone was not recording, so today we're gonna have even better class together. When you're ready, meet me on your mat. In a comfortable seated position for a short meditation. Maybe you can sit on a block or a cushion with your legs crossed, or simply folding the ankles under the bum, making sure that the spine is nice and long, bringing the shoulders a little bit backwards, spreading the collarbones. And let's take 3 deep breaths in through the nose, breathing deep, feeling the belly and the chest. An audible exhale through the mouth, arriving in the moment. One more time, breathe in and breathe out everything that doesn't serve us for this practice. One last time, breathing deeply in and letting go all the stale oxygen and energy that we don't need. Keeping the eyes closed, imagine a bright white light surrounding you. This bright light is the energy that we are all created from, the life source or the prana. That is makes the difference between living and death. Imagine this white light entering through your crown, through the top of the head, and feeling your third eye, in the space between your eyebrows, illuminating your vision to see all the abundance around you. The safety of the 4 walls surrounding you and the rooftop above your head. The comfort of your bed, seeing the richness in the food and the water provided directly into your home, and seeing with clarity all the infinite abundance that surrounds you in this present moment. This white light keeps traveling down through your head, reaching your throat, illuminating everything that you express, everything that you give as an act of service for abundance, an infinite connection to the source, and speaking in abundance, expressing in abundance. This white light keeps going down and fills up your shoulders, your chest, illuminates your heart. Now you're standing a little bit taller, a little bit more proud. And you feel the expansion in your chest, taking a deep breath in, filling up the lungs infinitely abundantly, and exhaling, feeling the peace and the settling to these infinite possibilities of being alive. Allowing the white light there to reach every corner, illuminate every cell of your being. Falling down like a waterfall, all the way to the root, to your pelvis floor. Filling you with this bright energy, infinite possibilities of being alive. Feeling how the white light is grounding you into the earth as you're connected to all life forms on this planet and maybe even beyond. Taking a deep breath in, expanding the chest, sending the heart, the sternum a little bit upwards, and exhaling, settling in this feeling of abundance, knowing that you're never alone. You're always part of the cycles of life. A smile spreads on your face as you settle into this inner knowing. And now with the last breath, we start arriving into our physical space, taking a deep breath in and through the mouth, loudly exhaling. When we're ready, we're slowly opening the eyes, arriving into this space. Welcome back. And let's start with our physical practice. If you were sitting on something, try to find your way into Vajrasana, Thunder Pose. And if this is by any chance uncomfortable for your knees or your ankles, feel free to grab a pillow and just place it under the tush. It makes it much more easier and accessible for your joints. So once we meet in this pose, we're going to try to extend our spine, bend our spine from these last ribs upwards. So we're trying to keep the lower back as neutral as possible. Anatomically, it's not advisable that we bend the lower back. It's supposed to be a solid structure that holds the core of our body. So if you can place your thumbs here in these bottom ribs and try to imagine that you're like, even with your hands elevating the chest up, squeezing the shoulder blades behind, like there is a pencil between your shoulder blades, and like there is a magnet on your elbows. They keep reaching towards each other, sending the sternum, this central bone between your breasts, up. This is what we're going to search for, a back bend, and the collarbones will be very wide. So this is what we're going to start practicing now. You're placing the palms comfortably on your thighs. We're going to inhale, squeeze the shoulder blades, send this heart center forward, and exhale, curling into cat position, just to start warming up the spine and getting the sense of what we're trying to do when we're back bending. Take your time. Maybe you want to spend a little bit longer in one place or in the other. Maybe coordinate with the breath, exhaling like you're deflating your lungs when you curl back, and inhaling when you arch forward. Perfect. Finding the center. Now from here, the right hand is going to find the floor or a block somewhere outside but on the diagonal of your body, and the left hand is going to make an arch, and you're going to really try to turn your body upwards, like even your chest and your nipple line to look upwards. The right hand is pushing you forward, the left hand is looking behind you, like you're trying to high five somebody behind you, and you're trying to expand the space between your ribs, coming to center, left hand on the ground, right hand, creating a very generous space between the hip bones and the last rib, while keeping the touch on your heels. And one more time each side, inhaling, expanding the chest, and exhaling to center, inhaling the other side, and center. You can keep drilling this if it's something that you still feel not 100% comfortable with. Now we're going to try to engage the hips by pushing them up. Maybe here you can bring a block, or you can be just on the tips of your fingers, and really making sure that you're engaging the butt. So this first pushes the hips forward and second protects the lower back. And we're gonna follow the same logic, inhaling, pushing the chest, now the belly button, the hips forward, strong in that grounded right hand, returning left hand somewhere behind us. Right hand is reaching towards the left. The palm is rotating backwards and coming back to center. One more time like that. Really sending the hip bones forward. Exhaling center. Inhaling. Keep stretching the space between the ribs. And exhale, coming back to center. Now, we're gonna do the same with the palms completely behind us. Again, the options to bring the ground as close as comfortably for you, just because sometimes anatomically some limbs are shorter than others or longer, so don't be shy to adjust according to your body. The fingers are facing towards you, your feet. Really press into all 10 fingers, spread them wide, squeeze the shoulder blades and the elbows from behind, and send the sternum upwards. Open the throat, spread the collarbones, and breathe. If you start feeling this discomfort in the lower back, try to bring the tailbone towards the ground like it's pointing down. So we're really arching only up and slowly returning to neutral. We can repeat that same thing or take it a step further by placing the hands behind us. Inhale, push the hips and the chest up, squeeze the glutes. Keep arching from your knees all the way to your shoulders. Keep engaging the head, don't let it hang. It's quite uncomfortable. And returning to center. Now let's get ourselves in down dog. Our first down dog for this practice. First and any other down dog is an invitation for intuitive movement. Maybe bending one leg, then the other. Maybe finding some stillness. Try to rotate the heels a little bit outward so the toes face inwards. This allows the engagement of the inner thighs that are gonna also rotate backwards. The hips should be the highest point of your body. So imagine that there is a thread here that is attached to your lower back and you're hanging from the skies. And we're breathing. Perfect. From here, ground yourself in your palms. The left foot is going to step in the middle of the mat. The right leg goes towards the sky. Inhaling here, bending the knee, heel towards the glute, opening the hip to the side. And now we're going to slide forward, shoulders above the wrists, and looking above that left shoulder, we're going to try to look at the foot from above our left shoulder. For 3, keep kicking back, 2, and 1. Returning. The right leg is still in the center, sending that right knee towards the chest. Plank, and slowly and gently placing the right foot on the front of the mat. Adjust your stance, low lunge. Try to send the chest forward, interlacing the fingers in Kali Mudra, and only the pointy finger is gonna face up, and interlacing the thumbs. Try to send the arms first straight up. If this is not accessible for you, keep them here, but keep the elbows straight, and then backwards. If they can pass the ears, that would be perfect, or if they're not, that's the idea. Squeezing that left glute from behind and sending the chest upward. Inhale. And now as the exhale, we're gonna send the elbows as a cactus into 90 degrees. The shoulder blades are gonna hug the heart from behind, and we're gonna keep sending the heart up. Now one more time. Inhale, interlacing into Kali Mudra, sending the chest towards the sky. Exhale, cactus the arms, chin up, opening the throat. Coming back to low lunge, finding the palms are finding the ground. Lifting that right knee into the chest. and down dog. Let's do the other side. Right foot steps in the middle of the yoga mat, left foot towards the sky. Open the knee, the hip, the left heel next to the glute, and now shoulders over the wrist, gliding forward and looking above that right shoulder towards the left foot. Maybe we see it, maybe we don't. The idea is that we keep kicking, creating a long line from that left knee to the left ribs. And now returning to treat like down dog, left knee towards the chest, sliding forward and gently placing that left foot between the hands, adjusting our low lunge. Inhale, Kali Mudra. If you interlace it, that the left thumb or the right was on top, try to change the grip just to make it different. Engaging that right glute, sending the hips towards the ground and the chest towards the sky. The practice of yoga is full of these dualities, and exhaling, sending the elbows back and the chest forward. Maybe we're getting this a bit deeper this time. Inhaling Kali Mudra, straight hands, maybe finding the space behind the ears, and exhale. Allow the shoulder blades to hug the heart from behind. Perfect. Finding the center. Palms find the ground. 3-layer down dog and down dog. Perfect. From here we're gonna drop the knees onto the ground and we're going to start stretching the front body and keep strengthening the back body. Now we're going to extend the right leg behind us, and from here we're going to go for chaturanga with the left knee on the mat. The elbows are gliding on our rib cage, so it goes like that. The chin also goes towards the mat. This is option 1, or option 2, to create even more stretch and strength. We're going to send the right leg towards the sky and chin and chest towards the ground. 3 times. Kick up, make sure that the hip is square. That was 2. And 3, kick, open the chest, and coming back to center. From here, we're gonna open the hips to the right, and we're gonna come into the supported side plank. The left foot can rotate back. You can tuck the toes in for extra support. And I want you to really extend in 2 opposite directions, as the right hand, somebody's pulling it forward and the left foot is sliding back, and we're very strong and stable in that left hand that is pushing us not only up but also rotating a little bit back. You see, maybe that right hand finds the space behind the head, and we really try to rotate the chest, the gaze, the nipple line towards the sky. Coming back to neutral into this side plank and lifting that right leg up. Maybe from here we can try to do the same extension, keeping the leg off the ground. And now right hand grabs the right foot from the outside, from the ankle, and really kick back. I'm just gonna scoop a little bit here because I have this fake fireplace behind me. Really kick back like you're trying to imprint the foot. The foot is flexed on the wall behind you, and keep sending this chest forward. If you feel any crunching in the lower back, bring the tailbone between the sitting bones and really focus on this last strip upwards. And now gently let go of the asana, but not of the leg. The grip is going to change. Now if this is a little bit far from you, you can always grab a towel, a belt, anything, and go like that. Bring it closer to you, or stay active. This is even harder than grabbing it, but if you can grab it from the inside, from where the arch is, start kicking with that back leg up. Maybe you can look down for better balance and start kicking up. This time we can rotate a little bit with the body, with the hips down, and keep kicking for 3, 2, and 1. Gently, very gently releasing and stepping with that right leg into low lunge. Perfect. Adjusting the low lunge. Inhale, hands up, and now we're gonna keep stretching the side body or opening up. So the right elbow is gonna find the right thigh. Inhale, again arching towards the right with the left hand. And exhale, left hand is gonna find that same right thigh. And the right hand is gonna go towards the left. Keep rotating up. This stretches not only the side body, but also the front body. One more time each side. Inhaling, looking up, very strong in that left glute. And exhale. Pull yourself with the left hand towards the right thigh. And finding neutral. From here, hands on the thigh or in the sky or on the ground, whatever feels comfortable for you, climbing into high lunge. And from here, we're going to do the same exercise we did in the beginning. Kali Mudra in the hands, arching up, arch from the chest, not from your neck. It's really not helpful, it's really not the point. And exhaling, cactusing the arms, very strong with this left glute, pushing the hips down. One more time, inhale. And exhale. Inhale, finding neutral, hands in front of the chest. We're gonna twist towards the right by tucking the left elbow on the outside of the right knee, creating more flexibility into the spine, really loosening all that's stuck there. Inhale, exhale slowly, stay twisted, and raise with your body, with your torso. Right hand towards the back, maybe you can even look at it. Keep squeezing the inner thighs together to create this extra balance. And if you fall out of the pose, just come back to it. Right hand is gonna find the back left thigh, and the left hand is gonna make an arch above us. This is always feels so graceful. Inhale and exhale, coming back. True high lunge, planting the palms on the ground and stepping into down dog. Dropping the knees slowly onto the ground, maybe taking our time for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Releasing. Sitting down your heels. If you need a break to catch your breath, I recommend this as a resting pose, because child's pose is when we arching the spine forward, and right now we really want to condition the spine to feel comfortable in these openings. So we want the vertebrae to keep bending backwards, because bending back and forward is said to be not the most optimal care for the spine in the yoga asana practice. So that's my recommendation for you. If you feel ready to keep going, let's do the other side. Left leg extends behind us. We're doing our chaturangas with chin and chest on the ground. You decide if you want to kick back. Elbows are very close to the body. For 1, if you're kicking back, make sure that the hip is square. For 2, open the chest. Really feel that arch. And 3, coming back up and opening to that supported side plank with the right foot supporting from behind, and really start opening in all directions. The left hand is strongly pulling towards the front and the foot is sliding back. Maybe that left palm is finding the back of the head, supporting as we really twist up, 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 strongly pushing from that right grounded hand, lifting that left leg and keep extending. Feeling the heat generated, and now we're finding left hand, left ankle, and start kicking like you're trying to imprint that left leg behind, very strong in the right hand, stable right shoulder, maybe looking up. Careful with the lower back, I'm feeling it, and it's a very tricky pose to keep engaging the glutes, so don't overdo it. Release the asana, but not the foot. Changing the grip with the side with the arch of the foot, and start kicking up. Just notice how changing the grip changes so much in the way we're opening the shoulder Neither is right or wrong. Absolutely not. It's just different purposes. Keep kicking for 3, 2, and 1. Slowly releasing. And that left leg finds the front of the mat, finding your low lunge, making sure that the feet, the legs are like train tracks. There is plenty of wide space between them and not on tight rope. It just makes it so much easier. And from here, hands up, we're going to be placing that left elbow on the left thigh, right hand arches towards the left. Keep looking up. We don't want to be here. Try to look at the ceiling. The ceiling is your friend. Maybe you find a spider there. Another friend. Coming back to center, right palm grabs the outside of the left thigh, pulling for the balance, and the left hand arches above us. One more time each side. You can always obviously have the option to support yourself on a block or a ground outside of the hip. I just really like using the thigh. It's much more accessible and actually works the balance. And coming back to center, tucking the toes from behind, really finding that base, that ground, and coming into high lunge. Find your stability, engage that right glute. Kali Mudra, the other way around. Inhale, opening the chest really strong in that back leg, and exhale, cactus the arms, send the sternum towards the sky. Inhale, somebody's pulling the hands towards the back of the room, and exhale, somebody's pushing the heart towards the sky. Finding center, hands in front of the heart, twisting towards the left by tucking the right elbow on the outside of the left knee, and breathe. Try to keep the shoulders away from the ears, elongating the neck. The chin is guiding the head towards the back of the mat. And now we're staying twisted, just lifting with the body, with the torso, into an active twist. Staying here for a breath or two. Make sure you don't compromise the bend in the front knee. And our left hand finds that right thigh, and the right hand makes a beautiful twisted arch above us. For 3, 2, and 1. Coming back through high lunge. Palms find the ground. Downward facing dog. Breathe here or rest in that sitting position that we saw earlier. Back bends are intense. There's a lot of work. Now slowly placing the knees on the ground. Can you do it for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release. Woo. Great. I hope you're feeling as good as I am. We're gonna stay a little bit in tabletop. Bring the heartbeat down. I know it was a lot of opening, a lot of stretching. Grounding yourself into your left hand. The hips are gonna stay above the knees. And only the right hand, either placing the full palm on the ground or tenting the fingertips, like you have a cupcake under your palm, and start walking forward and look under that right armpit. Try to send the weight of your body on that right armpit, really stretching the skin there, looking under that left armpit. Try to keep the hips square on the ground, that they're gonna want to tilt towards the left. Don't allow them that. We still work, even if it's a little bit calmer. Looking down and pushing yourself up to neutral. The other side, left hand is crawling forward, either pressing the whole palm or only the tips of the fingers, and looking under that left armpit, making sure that the hips are staying square, the tailbone is looking back towards the heels. Those are either tucked or flat, but we're active in our feet. And just changing by looking at under that right armpit, and notice how much the weight distribution changes, the sensation changes. One last breath. and pushing ourselves up to tabletop position. Now the option here is, of course, to repeat that, or coming into puppy pose, sending the, maybe we're warm enough to put the chin on the ground, but if that's not the case for you today, stick with the forehead. Just try to be very active in these palms, in these hands, lifting the elbows and rotating the shoulders like you're trying to hide your armpits from the world. Activating the hips, keep sending the inner thighs behind you so we're not collapsing into the hip joints. And coming back up. Perfect. From here, let's come on our bellies, whether back bends without a little bit of a belly work. Sphinx pose. Elbows under the shoulders. Already some of us may feel some pinching in the lower back. We're opening the legs as wide as it doesn't hurt. If lower back is not a problem, bring them together, engaging the glutes. This is what keeps us up. And we can either stay in Sphinx pose and push to seal. Keep engaging and lifting from the ribs up. This is our goal, and we're just going to stay here working on stretching the core muscles from the front body and strengthening the back body. Maybe you press with your feet so hard on the ground that the kneecaps lift. For 5, 4, maybe walk the hands closer. 3, 2, and 1. Release, making a pillow with your palms under your forehead and taking a rest, maybe wiggling the hips from side to side. Coming back to Sphinx pose. Now the left hand is going to come parallel on diagonal, on our front body, and with the right hand we're going to reach for the right foot. Again, always the option for the strap, and if not, grabbing, if the inside is accessible for you. I prefer it personally in my personal practice, but if you feel like the outside of the ankle is better, just go for it. Listen to your body, flexing the toes. This is gonna engage the muscles here. And inhale, kick back. Just kick back. Maybe you start extending the front left hand. Keep kicking back with the leg and pulling forward with the shoulder, feeling the stretch wherever you feel it. I'm having it in my chest and my biceps for 3, 2, and 1. Slowly release. We don't like to yank body parts nowhere. We like to do things with control and awareness. Take a break or join me for the other side. The left arm is reaching back, left foot is flexed, and the right elbow is under the right palm, very active in that supporting arm. Inhale, exhale, kick. Flexing the toes of that active leg, staying grounded in the right leg. Keep pushing up for 5. Pull the shoulder forward. 4, 3, smile. 2, and 1. Release slowly. Taking a break either with your palms under your forehead or staying in Sphinx to keep maintaining that arch, to condition the body that we're feeling safe in this position, that there is nothing to be afraid of, to be this vulnerable, to be this open for giving and receiving. And now we're gonna go for the Dhanurasana, bow pose, flexing both knees and ankles, reaching from behind. Again, the options are always to grab from the outside or the inside. I definitely prefer the inside. I have very open shoulders. And from here we inhale and kick. Keep kicking up and back, up and back. And if you're going back and forth, like swinging, that's normal. That's your diaphragm working. Keep kicking, keep engaging the glutes for 5, 4, 3, smile, 2, and 1. Slowly release. Take a break with your palms under your forehead. From here, we're going to place the palms under the shoulders, tucking the toes of the feet are in. We're gonna lift ourselves to plank pose. Let's hold here for a couple breaths before we move into down dog. Let's stay for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, squeeze the glutes, 4, push from the hands, 3, smile, 2, and 1, push into down dog. Great. We need a lot of strength for back bends because it's the muscles that are guiding the skeleton into these poses, and if the muscles are not providing adequate support for the joints and the bones, it's when we're starting to get in trouble. So we really want the muscles to work. Flexibility is definitely not an easy task. From here we're gonna slowly walk up and try to keep the chest open. So if you have to bend the knees, bend the knees. And getting up, we still don't want to arch the spine forward. Closing the eyes, palms in front of the chest. And now we're gonna keep activating with back bends in our standing practice. So feet are hip distance apart, more or less. And we're gonna interlace the fingers from behind if this is not accessible for you. Elbows, or again, a strap to bring the palms closer. If you can touch your palms, do so. It means that you have the space in the shoulders. Making a chair with our legs, squeezing the knees towards each other like you have a block there. The tailbone is like looking down, so it's not here, it's not here, it's here somewhere, 45 degrees. And you really pull the hands back like somebody's pulling them for you. Back and down, and the chest up. The chin can support the movement, the gaze can go up, but we're not going too far, like leaning the head back. And if we're searching for a little bit of challenge, getting on that tippy toes, smile, maybe a little bit deeper with the legs, a little bit higher with the chest. 5, 4, bending the elbows, micro bending, 3, 2, and 1. Gently release the heels, the hands, shake it out. Conditioning the body from all possible angles. Really. Whew. Now we're going to do the same by imagining we're holding a bow or a block between our hands, because when they hold on to each other, it's kind of easier for them to lean onto one another and compensate. But if you try, now there's going to be so much more engagement in every part of chest and back. So inhale, catch your breath. Exhale, chair into the legs. The hands are holding this invisible bow. Maybe come onto the tippy toes. Maybe micro bend the elbows like you're trying to touch that bow onto your tailbone. And breathe. For 5, keep sending up the chest. 4, the hands are down. 3, the knees are squeezing. 2, we're smiling. And 1, slowly releasing the heels on the ground, the hands relax, closing the eyes, catching the breath. And opening the eyes, we're going to do the same thing with the hands in Kali Mudra, like what we've been doing in high lunge, but this time we're relying only on our front body. Getting into chair, maybe lifting onto the heels, and start sending the sternum up, the hands behind. Maybe this time they reach the space behind the ears. Lower with the legs, higher with the chest for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release. Beautiful. Maybe it's getting a bit easier. Maybe we're feeling more open, like we totally own this. We did so much of that already in so many positions. And now grabbing that magic ball of energy, of infinite potential between our hands, hands above us, getting the same position, but without the support of the hands. Chair into the legs, sending the tailbone towards the ground, the collarbone spread towards the sky, and breathing here for 5, 4, lower with the legs, 3, squeeze the shoulder blades, 2, look up, and 1, heels down, hands onto the chest, feeling our heartbeat. What keeps us alive, what excites us, what feels all the joy and pain in our lives, smiling for all the richness, all the colors and the shades of emotions in this human life. Beautiful. Opening the eyes slowly, and now we're going to have a little balanced chest opening practice. So if you are gonna feel more safe, you can definitely have something to hold on to. It's not a crazy balance pose, but I think things are so much more in our head than in our bodies. So what we're going to do, I'm just gonna explain before we started so you don't get confused. We're gonna come into dancer pose. From here we're gonna come into half moon pose. If we can, we're grabbing the foot from behind. If not, we keep reaching them. This still does the work. And from here we're gonna turn to the ground and step into high lunge. Okay, so make sure you have the space. You can obviously move up and down, and from high lunge we have our drills, so don't worry about that. So dancer, half moon, high lunge. So from here, bending that right leg, grabbing from the inside or the outside of the ankle, again up to you. The knees are together, and when you start kicking, you're gonna start kicking back, not to the side. We're not doing a peeing dog. We really try to send the leg straight behind us, and the left leg hand extends forward for a counterbalance, engaging, flexing that right foot, and keep kicking back. Maybe smile, find a drishti, a point that doesn't move. Keep kicking and feel how your glute is on fire. For 5, 4, come back if you fell out of it. 3, 2, and 1. Slowly finding a block, a surface, or just the mat under you, changing the grip if you would like, and coming into half moon, opening the body towards the right, kicking that back leg, what we did in that adjusted side plank, kicking with the right leg behind, like you're trying to imprint it on the wall behind you, sending the chest forward for 5. Smile, I know it's hard. And 1, gently releasing, bringing the body towards the mat. Maybe the right hand finds the mat, and we're gonna find ourselves in high lunge, adjusting the stance and coming up. From here, we're gonna send the chest towards the sky, just for once. Maybe you're getting deeper, maybe you can see the wall behind you. Coming up, right hand is gonna find the mat, left hand towards the ground. We're twisting, maybe very strong in this back leg, very strong in this right palm on the ground. And from here, we're gonna come into side plank. So engage your muscles, engage the bottom leg, the core. We're lifting towards side plank. Maybe you stack it. Maybe you have both feet on the ground. Maybe the right knees towards the sky. And from here, we're gonna come into wild thing. The right foot steps slowly behind us, the hips dug down towards the ground. And we're opening the chest up. Maybe that left hand again finds the back of the head, the same way we did it earlier. And open, sending the hips towards the sky. We're gonna come through side plank, stepping that left foot on top of the mat. High lunge. Now we're going to bring all our weight into that left leg, right leg towards the chest, and stepping in the front of the mat to Tadasana. We have the other side. I'm gonna come into the middle of my mat so you can see me better. Coming into dancer with the left foot in our Left hand, right hand towards the sky. Knees are together, and from here, we're starting to kick backwards with the right leg, flexing the toes. The right hand is counterbalancing forward, finding a point in the space in front of you that's not moving. Keep sending the left shoulder forward. 5. I'm just counting on my mind because it's so annoying. Smiling and transitioning into half moon, changing the grip, finding a block, just accommodating yourself in this asana. And again, flexing the toes is what really helps engage the hamstring and the glute, which is what we want when we try to push the body forward. So that's why I insist so much on flexing the toes. For 5, strong in that supporting bottom hand. And slowly releasing, turning the body towards the mat. Both hands find the mat, left leg behind, right leg in front. High lunge. Beautiful. From here, just sending the chest once towards the sky, the way it's comfortable for you. Center, left hand is gonna find the inside of the right foot. We're gonna twist towards that right leg. Right hand is towards the sky. Breathe. Very strong in both legs, in all the contact points with the floor. I'm gonna move a little bit to the side so I have space for the wild thing where we're going. Brace your left shoulder and palm. Coming into side plank. Find a variation that's stable, comfortable for you. From here, right leg steps behind us, ducking the hips down and arching up, feeling beautiful, so gracious, so strong. Chest, hips towards the sky, the left leg is extended, the right leg is strong, pushing, and slowly returning with the right leg stepping in front of the mat. Inhale, high lunge. All the weight comes into our right leg, left leg towards the chest, and stepping forward, Tadasana. Maybe one hand finds the chest, the other one finds the belly, calming that breath. It's really hard to breathe in back bends because they open the chest so much that it's hard to find even more space and capacity for the inhale. And this is very normal. That's what makes them so hard, but they're so rewarding, so beautiful. Beautiful. Opening the eyes and slowly coming into this sitting position we started from. We're gonna play with a few back bends. We're super warm. If you have a deep back bend practice, just this is your playtime. If you would like to go with me, we're gonna go through a few back bends. One of them is Camel. Now for Camel, I would recommend that you tuck the toes in, just because when we go for this arch, the heel is much closer, or you can even bring blocks here so they can catch you. But before we start reaching for the heels, we're gonna find our lower back with the fingers facing up or down. The elbows and the shoulder blades are magnetizing towards each other. We're gonna inhale and we're sending that breastbone, the sternum, towards the sky. This will ideally engage the glutes, and you can feel it in the bottom of your palms, and keep going up. Right now, let's focus on the engagement of the muscles to send the body up and only then back. Holding here a little bit, smile, going back up with the head last. Now, it's absolutely normal that you start feeling dizzy when you start really bending back. If after Camel this is your case, just breathe deep and maybe take it a little bit easier and listen to your body. It's very normal, just because the blood and the oxygen are starting to move in a different way than we're used to. So no biggie, as long as it doesn't feel too uncomfortable for you. Now we're gonna try to Do a camel with grabbing the heels from behind. Inhale, squeeze the elbows, shoulder blades behind, broaden the collarbones, and exhale, start going up with the chest and then back, maybe extending one hand and then the other, maybe they find the heels or the block, and keep now pushing everything up from the knees. The thighs are engaged, the glutes are engaged, the lower back is safe, and maybe we release the toes from the ground if you had them tucked. The head, if you let it hang, it's fine, it's just not ideal for the neck. Smile. This is such an incredible and impressive pose. So cool. Slowly returning the hands back on the lower back, and from here arching back with the head. Last, to get up, sitting on your heels, catching your breath. This is amazing. Well done. This is just beautiful. You can stay and practice camel. I would like to show you this beautiful back bend. If you're warm enough, we can start with the strap, coming into low lunge. We did a lot of opening of the front body, and maybe before getting into this back bend, we can do a few drills coming into low lunge, pressing the palms on the front, for me, the left leg, sending the hips towards the ground, and make sure you cushion that back knee in case the surface you are, it's a bit too hard for the joint. And we're gonna send the front thigh away from the bottom ribs and the bottom ribs away from the thigh. Engage that back leg, flexing the toes and sending the head and the breasts up, the head back towards the heel and back. We do it active, so the muscles work. So the muscles know how to keep us in this position safely. We're gonna do it for 5 in total. So 4, push yourself away from the thigh. 3, I'm feeling the stretching here. 2, going up and then back. And 1, hold. And coming back up slowly. Now we're gonna grab our strap and we're gonna, again, towel, belt, anything, and we're going to hang it over our shoulder. So this is great. You can stay here. This feels really good. You can also start the drill by just kicking with the leg behind and the shoulder forward as we did on the floor. Or if you're ready, we can start flipping the grip. So as we're holding that strap, the elbow is going to start facing up, so towards the outside, up, 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 and we have this grip. And now we're going to do the same, sending the chest up and back and the leg towards us for 5, 4, 3, 2, and slowly releasing. 1. Beautiful. Whew. Coming back to Vajrasana. Gathering your breath. If you joined me for this one, that was amazing. Well done. And if you are ready, let's start with the second side, cushioning that back knee for the drill. Palms on the front right thigh, sending the chest away from the thigh and bending back for 5, 4, 3. The idea is that we don't touch the foot to the head, but we create the engagement. Is this 1? Holding and coming back to center. Now I'm gonna go without the strap this time, but we already know how we did the strap, so don't be shy. Now the hand is gonna come. I'm just gonna change so you guys see me. The head is gonna come like it's holding a plate. This didn't make sense. Like that. So the left leg is behind me. The hand like it's holding a plate. We're flexing the leg and we're trying to catch it like that. Okay, for me I usually catch some of the toes. And from here, sending the hips down, chest up, and we flip the grip. Take some practice. And we're bringing the crown closer to the toes. Keep engaging the front leg, don't collapse in it. And the right hand finds a balance here. And we hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and slowly releasing for 1. Amazing. Coming back to Vajrasana. We're still trying to avoid the bending forward poses just because we're in the peak of our back bends and we really want to stay in that flow. That was amazing if you join me, and it takes time and practice, and not only that the body needs to get flexible, but your mind also needs to get flexible too for these poses. So no rush, where you can revisit this video over and over again. And let's go for wheel pose, the classic queen of back bends. For the wheel pose, you certainly need your chest flexibility. So you can stay here in bridge. And if you are going for a full extension of wheel, don't be too hard if your outer shoulder is still a little bit too tight to get this movement. We may have been opening in this practice, but it doesn't mean that years of conditioning have not changed the way your body can move. Anyway, let's try facing the fingers towards our body. The thighs are squeezing towards each other. Inhale and exhale, coming first to the crown of the head. See how you feel here. Are the glutes engaged? If they are, inhale and exhale. Push to wheel pose. The further your feet are from your hands, the more space you have to arch. You really don't need to go ultra tight here. The head is in comfortable neutral position. And keep pushing the chest in between the shoulders. Smile if you're here with me. This is so cool. If you're still working on it, I'm so happy you're here. And slowly releasing. Now here we're going to imprint the lower back onto the mat, opening the feet as wide as the mat and the knees towards the center. Just catching our breath here. Back bends are so demanding, man. Wow. But it's so cool. It just makes, I remember my first back bend practice, and the first time I went into camel pose, my whole day brightened. Okay, let's do this again. Feet firm on the ground, palms next to the shoulders. You can either go again crown and up, or just push yourself up if you feel you have the strength. And so much strength. Maybe you can bring the feet together if you're warm enough. Oh, my mat is slippery. And maybe you can walk the feet closer to you. And push, keep pushing the chest and the ribs in between the hands. And slowly taking the chin towards the chest. Release, wow. Wow. Again, printing that lower back. Opening the feet wide and the knees together. If you want to play more with back bends, now it's your time before we cool down. I used to love going upside down and start all the back bending on the wall. It was so demanding and so fun. But for now, we're gonna start cooling down. We're gonna send the knees towards the chest, hug them, and grabbing behind the thighs, rocking ourselves up to sitting. Right knee towards the chest. Allow it to open to the side, the sole of the right foot on the inside of the left leg. Janu Shirshasana, hands up and exhale. Fold over that left leg. The toes are again flexed. And we're trying to send the crown of the head towards the toes in order to elongate the muscles on the back to bring that balance and equilibrium into our spine. Breathing deep. I remember once I was playing with these super deep back bends and I was filming myself. It looked amazing for the camera. And I was in my yoga studio where I teach, or I was teaching at this moment. And let's get back up and change sides. And then we're gonna keep the story. Left knee towards the chest, opening to the side. Hands up allows to elongate the back, and exhale. It's not important that you reach the toes. It's important that the crown is facing there. So we start feeling the extension and the relaxation in the muscles that were contracting and flexing until now to bring us back. So I was done with my filming in the studio, and I just had to go. Classes had to be held in that room, and I just collected my tripod, put my mat aside, and I left. And the next 3-4 days, man, my back was so achy, exactly that area where you're feeling the stretch now. Oh, wow. And slowly coming back up, bringing the knees together towards the chest, hugging them from behind, and sending the heels, the feet away from you. Maybe even purposefully pressing the knees into the forearms so that the heels lift in order to really arch the back in the opposite direction where we've been arching. You can stay here for as long as you'd like, or join me lying down on the mat, right knee towards the chest, and we're gonna just twist. Make sure that the hips go a little bit towards the right before sending the knee towards the left to align the spine. Just nice to provide these places for the spine to realign itself, to feel comfortable in all directions again after all this bending. Coming back to center, left knee towards the chest, hips a little bit towards the left, and I cracked beautifully. One last breath here, and coming back to center, hugging the knees in to get this sensation of centering yourself, and relaxing for Savasana. Really take at least a minute or two in this pose to allow the body to digest all the movement that happened in the past hour, to allow the energy that was flowing and transforming through this practice to reach every single cell of your body, to allow the oxygen and the blood to nourish every tissue that was working in the past hour, and for the nervous system to say, after all these demanding practices, to relax, settle into safety, to feel the expansion that we created, to arrive into it, to feel the lightness with which we breathe after all the opening. A part of the infinite cycle of giving and receiving. Stay here for as long as you need. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I'll see you next time.